Okay, so first off, I mean, this has been around forever. Like, we talk about how cash is king. And we probably picture, the old people bringing suitcases of cash.
My wheelbarrow.
Yep, yep. So how about that one?
Cash is king. So cash is great. Money in the bank never hurts, but it's not everything. I think that one of the really important things in a real estate transaction is not about do you have all the money right this second, because we work with fabulous lending partners that buyers can get great loans. At the end of the day, the seller is going to net whatever your offer price, your contract price is. So whether it comes from a suitcase full of cash or Bitcoin or, no, we won't even go there, or a conventional or a VA loan, the seller's walking away with the same amount of money. What does change, though, is maybe the strategy in approaching it. And oftentimes with financed offers, those buyers are willing to make other concessions on contingencies. Maybe you write your offer stronger using other contingencies, and we can talk about that strategy a little bit. But cash isn't always king. Buyers shouldn't be afraid that just because there's a lot of money out there in our market, we have a lot of people who are very blessed to have big bank accounts. It's not the only thing. And I know in your business and recently in mine, I have great, steady clients who have great financing. They just, have a 3% down payment or 5%, and they still can buy a home. It's not everything.
Right.
What do you see with?
Yeah, and I think sometimes, not always, but many times that cash offer sometimes is not like as strong in the, in the bottom line, because they think their cash is so powerful that they may not write it for as vigorous.
Maybe they don't escalate or write a full price offer.
They don't get as high as some of the other people do. And so in the end, I think it's really about, what happens. Like,
because you never know what's going to happen. Signs are falling from the sky.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, exactly.
See, if we had an inspection contingency on that, we could have negotiated sign repair.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that's a really good point on cash. So speaking of cash.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I think a lot of buyers are afraid to get into the market and maybe even start their home search process because they feel like they have to have a ton of money to buy a home. So is that true? Do you have to have a lot of money to even make an offer or purchase a home?
Well, I mean, there are some great loan products out there, and people can do 3% down loans, they're 5% down loans, or 10%. I mean, they're all different levels of those type of loans. So they do need to have, cash for that.
The down payment
and some of the closing costs, but it doesn't have to be these enormous amounts. And then I think too, for down payments, for people that want to just get into the market and, start to build their equity, I think that, they could look at a condo, and, now's a great time to buy condos.
Oh, it's a fantastic time to buy condos.
I mean, fabulous, because you aren't getting into huge bidding wars typically, and your down payment, can be, pretty minimal. So, no, you don't need a ton of cash, to buy. And I think it's also when you present offers, and let's say you're not putting, 20 or 25% down, it's also a matter of how your realtor, such as us, packages the deal together with the lender and, us as performers and the buyer. It's kind of like, how is the team presented?
Yeah, I agree. I think that one of the myths is that you have to have 20% down. That magic threshold tends to be specifically around if you're going to have mortgage insurance on the property and as part of that loan. But you can get, like you mentioned, conventional financing for 3% down, 5% down. And it just depends on what your mortgage insurance payment's going to be. That's all part, and as you grow in equity, that can go away over time. We can have a whole nother conversation on financing sometime. That would be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is a myth.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So how about, when you do get the idea, okay, I have my down payment, is that all you need to buy a house, is a down payment?
So you're going to want to have your down payment. So again, working with your lender to decide what down payment amount that is, but let's say it's 20% down for the sake of argument. On top of that, you are going to need additional funds to close. So there's going to be the fees that you pay the mortgage company. So those fees. There's going to be title and escrow fees, and then your lender is going to have you pay some prepaid, some other things. So you do need to have a little extra money, but again, you don't have to have, suitcases full of cash to make this happen. There's all kinds of different ways to finance a property. So anyone thinking about wanting to buy should get with their real estate agent or get with a lender and really talk through the numbers, because I think that people realize like, oh, that's very doable.
Right. And I find even now with so many numbers in front of us like that, we have more conversations with the lender, sometimes almost weekly, to say, hey, if we offer on this is the down, here's, how much we're going to, take from that to the earnest money, where are we at? And then if we have to write for more, where is that coming from? So it is.
Yeah, and that's a good, you bring up the earnest money too. So a lot of buyers think that that's a separate amount of money. It's actually going to be applied towards your total down payment or closing costs. So it's not an additional amount of money. It's part of the whole.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.